Scrolling down the page, be sure to review the process so that you are familiar with and complete the required steps as follows: applied, resume review, phone screen, in-person interview, assessments, as applicable, reference checks, verbal offer extended, call, email HR. After the verbal offer is extended, the process stops for hiring managers and HR starts the process for the candidate who you wish to proceed in the process. Once HR is notified, the hiring manager should not proceed beyond this point for the candidate who is being considered for the position. Steps with HR use only in front of them should not be used or clicked on by the manager in the disposition. Again, keep in mind, you should be communicating with applicants throughout the process as applicable. All other candidates not being considered can be declined by the hiring manager. This will be discussed later in this training. Continuing down the page, Step 5, you will share the opportunity with your manager. Your manager can work within the opportunity, including viewing candidates. Step 6, select sequential. Step 7, finally enter any approvers. Add your next level manager, RM or VP, for approval, then select your HR recruiting representative. Note, if next level manager and HR are not listed as approvers, the position will not be posted. Then click Submit for approval. Please note, your HR recruiting representative will approve all opportunities. Opportunities must be approved before the HR recruiting representative posts the opportunity to internal and/or external job boards. The approvers you selected will approve or reject your opportunity, and you will receive an email notification. Your opportunity will appear in pending status while it's waiting to be approved. To navigate to pending approvals, navigate to the menu and click on Pending Approvals. Managers who are approvers will need to remember the following as they review approvals for quality control. Review the description, then review if the opening is marked as budgeted and the reasons for the opening, so it isn't a surprise if you have not already had a previous conversation. The approver can also add comments above the name. For example, to add a job association for the job board. This information goes to the recruiter who will need to make the change per the note or work with the hiring manager directly. The hiring manager will receive email notification for the approved opportunity, which provides directions for next steps as pictured here. After approval, the HR recruiting representative will post the opportunity to our internal and external job boards. As a rule, we open opportunities for internal and external candidates at the same time. We will not fill a position with an external candidate for the first 7 days to allow internal candidates to be considered for the opportunity. Hiring managers can review approved postings under Published. Please allow 1 business day for the recruiter to publish the position. Once the opportunity is posted, candidates will begin to apply from DominiumApartments.com and other job boards. Candidates can browse, search for opportunities, or use the Discover Your Potential tool. Dominium is now able to build a searchable community of applicants and also feature specific opportunities. If you would like your opportunity to be considered as a featured opportunity, please contact your HR recruiting representative. Candidates with LinkedIn profiles can use their profile to apply. Candidates without a LinkedIn profile can use the Apply Now button instead. These candidates will be required to register using first and last name, email, and password. All candidate information will be linked to the email address the candidate enters. Applicants will see all positions they have applied for throughout Dominium. Candidates can add or change information as desired. On their presence, candidates can add and edit information about their experience, education, licenses, and skills, in addition to behaviors and motivations at any time. Candidates can attach documents to their application, such as a resume. As previously discussed, candidates are presented with sourcing, diversity, and application questions. Now we will cover the steps to review applications. You can review application information in real time, including candidate details, documents, answers to application questions, references, and more. To review applications, under Opportunities, click on Published, then select the number under the Applicant column for the job you want to view. Note you will see a tag for new candidates who have applied for that position. We are going to use the assistant manager position for our example. After you click on assistant manager, the screen will refresh. Note the search bar at the top. You are also able to filter by step, candidate type, applied by, applied date, and source. The disposition and decline buttons across the middle will be discussed in further detail later in this course. You also have the More Action button that expands into a drop-down. For example, we will use Test Tester. To see this applicant, select the candidate's name to view their application and presence details. After you click on the candidate's name, the candidate's presence will open with his or her contact information at the top for when you're ready to contact the candidate. Next, you will see 3 tabs: Presence, Applications, and Notes. The system will default to the application page. Here you can view the candidate's information for the opportunity. All candidate information is part of the candidate presence and stays with the candidate. The system will note if a candidate has applied before. This feature also allows hiring managers to share candidates. From this screen, you can also click on Application Questions to view the applicant's answers. When reviewing the answers to the candidate's application questions, keep in mind what the symbols mean. Red only means that an answer was not selected or different than what Dominium selected, and the green check mark means it is a match. Again, keep in mind that all notes stay in recruiting with the candidate record. You can select the drop-down to add a general note or a position-specific note. Notes cannot be deleted. All notes must be objective, as these notes could be subpoenaed as part of any employment investigation. Notes should not contain comments that could be perceived as discriminatory. For example, using any word to describe the candidate, such as hair color, gender, age, or skin color, is prohibited. Hiring managers and anyone who has access to the opportunity via including the recruiter and approvals will be able to view all candidates for an opportunity. With that, they will have full access to these individuals' notes, including notes for other opportunities. Candidates cannot view notes anywhere in the system. They will receive emails from the system, and those are tracked in Notes, but they will only see the emails in their email inbox, not when they log into their presence on the job board. Also, in the Notes section, you are able to send emails to the candidate and also schedule meetings using the More Actions drop-down menu. The benefit to sending emails and scheduling meetings through DEC is that the communication is tracked within the candidate presence. Once you have viewed the applicant, you can return to the applicant list. From the Published Opportunities page, you can add a rank if you choose to, as this helps track preferred candidates. Adding the rank is a tool to help you as you determine who to move on to the next step in the recruiting process. Keep in mind that you may want to have a conversation with any number 2 candidates who may be a fit for another position. So as we continue to review candidates, what does disposition mean in terms of recruiting? Disposition is simply a way to identify where the candidate is in the process. When you are ready to disposition a candidate, navigate to Publish Opportunities and click on Disposition, or click on Disposition within the Candidate Presence. When you click on Disposition, choose the recruiting step the candidate has completed. You can also choose a reason for the move to this step, such as the candidate withdrew. After you are finished, click on Save. Once you have narrowed down the list of candidates through resume review, complete a phone screen to determine who will move on in the in-person interview process. Work with the candidate and HR to complete any required assessments such as the profile or maintenance assessments. Applicable assessments should be completed on candidates who have completed an in-person interview. Once the in-person interview and assessments are completed, those who are being considered for an offer should have 3 reference checks completed. After the hiring manager selects a candidate and the candidate accepts a verbal offer, the hiring manager should contact HR. Again, the hiring manager should not proceed beyond this point for the candidate who will receive the offer. Hiring managers are required to stop at the call, email, HR step. Do not enter disposition steps labeled HR. The HR recruiting representative will be responsible for dispositioning the candidate who is being considered beyond this point. The HR recruiting representative will follow up with the hiring manager with additional directions regarding background checks and drug screenings and any other required information. Should a hiring manager choose to decline a candidate prior to the position closing, simply click Decline. When a candidate is declined in the system, it is only noted next to the candidate's name on the screen. This is not a required step, as an automatic email is sent to candidates who are automatically declined when the position is closed. Once Dominium has extended an employment offer to an applicant, Dominium's goal is to welcome a new employee even before his or her first day. To do this, Dominium will utilize DEC onboarding. Managers receive visibility into the new hire process, and this will also help standardize the process company-wide. In addition, this empowers managers to craft a first day that is more job-focused versus paperwork-focused. Speaking of paperwork, documents that may have previously been completed by hand will now be electronic. An HR representative will electronically launch onboarding. New employees can electively begin the new hire process before the hire date. These early touch points will increase acclimation to Dominium's culture. The hiring manager will need to ensure documents have been completed by the new hire on the first day. If not, the employee will need to access a computer to complete documents before beginning work. All communication will be sent to the new employee's personal email used during recruiting. To launch onboarding, log in to DEC, navigate to the menu, My Team, then click on Onboarding Gateway. The Onboarding Gateway will bring you to the onboarding dashboard, where at a glance you can see where employees currently are in the process to make sure documents are completed. In addition to ensuring all documents are complete, the hiring manager must complete the I-9 within the system by following the directions on the screen. Once the employee completes his or her section of the I-9, along with all required documents, the manager will get an email stating "Action required, complete onboarding." The manager completes the I-9 and verifies all new hire documents that need signature to complete onboarding. Please take the time to complete the I-9 carefully and correctly. as this document verifies the eligibility of an employee to work legally in the United States. Not only is the form required, but it can also be audited. Be sure you are using the provided documents to verify the information in the system, particularly the spelling of the first and last name and birth date. Please note, the hiring manager is responsible for returning the following pre-hire documents: offer letters with non-solicit as applicable, and job descriptions to HR. As our tagline states, what we do hits home. As part of this, we want to welcome our employees into their new career home. Onboarding doesn't stop after the completion of new hire paperwork on the first day. Onboarding should give your new hire a sense of Dominion as a whole, in addition to completing a few vital steps to ensure the employee is set up for success. In the first few days of employment, knowledge is power. The more knowledge and insight you provide your employee, the more likely he or she is to succeed. This can include knowing how to do something as simple as requesting additional Post-it notes. To review what has been covered in this course, we began with a high-level overview of the hiring process, then moved on to recruiting. Within recruiting, should you need to reference any course material in DU Online after you have completed the course, please click on Courses underneath your name. Be sure to click on All and search for DEC, for example. Once the course appears, you can open it, and at the top you will see the course map. From here you can navigate to any page within the completed course. Various parts of onboarding will look different by site, department, and position. But here are some tips and tricks to utilize for every new hire. A full tour should be given on the first day so the new hire knows where everything is located, including the restrooms. Also, where to locate the organizational chart within DEC, in addition to how to access DU Online training. A brief overview of a typical day in their new position would be helpful, and start the day with an introduction to their new co-workers to ensure the new employee feels welcome in his or her new career home. You can view pay stubs, W-2s, and company org charts. You will also be able to check in and check out as applicable, which will be covered later in this training. To review what has been covered in this course, we began with a high-level overview of the hiring process, then moved on to recruiting. Within recruiting, walked through the opportunity process workflow for on-site managers. After that, we looked at what a candidate sees when he or she applies, then learned how to review applications. We discussed what disposition means and how to accomplish it. Finally, we reviewed what's next for an employee through onboarding. We hope this course has been beneficial for you, and for your future reference, you are able to access the Manager Guide under Course Materials.